Today, this young man hails from San Diego, and I love his training. Every second Saturday of every month this year, he'll be doing a training for us. And I tell you what, he does such a phenomenal job on the calls he does for us on a monthly basis that you got to go back and watch him. Like I said, last week was so powerful. I told people even after his call, to go back and watch it. Without further ado, he hails from San Diego. He's one of the largest organizations in San Diego and Hispanic and other states and countries. He's got an assassin group of ladies called Assassins. He's got Mr. Jekyll up in Illinois. He's got Miss Marie B, and she's got a group of women I met that were just phenomenal up in Lake Tahoe. And they all stem from his teaching and his leadership, which we all love and trained by him. The great, the one and only regional director, Mr. Julian Lewis.
Good morning, Mr. Thomas. It's good to see you. I hope you had an incredible weekend. You look tan there. You must have been sitting out in the sun. All that melanin, I see that. And ladies and gentlemen, before I get started, I just want to let all of you know how much I appreciate Mr. Thomas. You could tell by the way he started this morning. This is just who he is. He's got that type of energy that if you could bottle it, you'd probably be a billionaire if you could figure out a way to market it. So he loves to have fun. He's helped so many people to make money in this industry multiple times in 2 different companies. And it's because he's consistent with his methodology. It's simple. The things that he's taught me have allowed me to replace my income, go full-time in this business, and do so many different things that I could not have done without being impacted and affected by him. And so I just want to let all of you know that if you have the chance to work with him personally, don't take that. Don't be careless with it. And make sure you understand, sometimes when you're familiar with someone, it doesn't come off as powerful because you're used to it. So you just want to know that you have an incredible leader in Mr. Thomas. And I'm so excited, sir, to be on this call for the last one of the month. And we're going to be talking about something because I know Mr. Thomas is doing what he's doing on Wednesday. And so I wanted to get everyone prepared for it. And the reason why I want to get you guys prepared for it is because if you know what the leaders know, you can get the results that the leaders get if you apply the work to it, okay? And for those of you that don't know or you're not familiar with me, prior to getting involved with this company, I was a senior systems engineer. I worked literally 80 to 90 hours a week at my job. I was averaging 50 to 60 flights a year when I was shown this opportunity. So to say I was busy, that's an understatement. But I was blessed to be introduced to a company where being busy was actually a good thing because it was designed for busy people. There was a system in place that allowed someone as busy as me to get to work in the cracks and the crevices of my time. And it enabled me to be consistent with that. And in 6 months, built a business that allowed me to make a decision to walk away from my full-time income, come home to my family. And the most important thing that I got to do is become the type of father that I felt my daughter deserved, which is present, not just there financially. And so what I want to talk about today is one of the things that got me there and was able to fast track my results. If you could go from where you're at today in the next 60 to 90 days, be at a new promotion level and earning income that you never thought possible, how many of you would stop being distracted right now and pay close attention to what I'm talking about? Okay, I'm going to need you to do that because that's what we're going to be covering this morning. And it's something so simple and most people don't think about, but it's the reason behind why certain people enroll lots of people, why certain people can get a lot of people to an event, why certain people, it seems like they're getting people qualified all the time. They're using something, they have something that they're using that's so powerful that allows them to do it, and others don't because they rely on something else. So the people that aren't having these results are relying on ego. The people that are having these results are relying on something else. And if you're taking notes, you want to write this down. It's called edification. Edification is the reason why, if you get great at it, you're going to sign up the majority of the people that you get on the phone with Mr. Thomas on Wednesday. But if you leave out edification, then it's going to be a hit or a miss. And I promise you, Mr. Thomas can tell the difference between those that edify and those that don't, because of the way the guest is going to sound and respond to him as a leader. When someone's been edified properly and you get them on a three-way call, your guest is going to be saying, yes, sir, no, sir, or yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Thank you so much, sir, for taking this call, because the edification gives your leader power. Okay. And what I want to do is I want you guys to hear from someone who is a master at edification. He started out his network marketing business in ACN. He mastered and learned the PBR system, and he was asked to bring it to a company, and he became the top producer. Not only did he become the top producer following a system, but then he decided to outline and write a book about it that a lot of you have heard of before, that I've mentioned. It's called Building an Empire, and that's by Brian Carruthers. First time I met Brian Carruthers was in San Diego. I pulled up with my mentor in a Lamborghini. He pulled up in a red Ferrari at that same Starbucks, Mr. Thomas, and we got to sit down with Brian Carruthers and just talk shop, talk business, talk about how ACN was doing, and got to become friends with him. And he's an incredible leader who decided we need to roll out the blueprint for everyone in network marketing to see. And so I'm going to let him break down edification for you guys, because he's one of the top earners in network marketing on the entire planet. Okay, so let me go ahead and get that going. And you guys want to take notes on this video. And afterwards, I'm going to come back up and we're going to break down some things that are going to help impact your business even further.
One of the common questions I get all the time is, what can I do to effectively increase my recruiting ratios? And number two, how can I get better at motivating my team to be more productive? Would you guys want to know that answer? I'm going to share with you right now. It's called edification. Edification is absolutely crucial in your network marketing business. Let me explain what edification is. It's speaking well of someone else, building up another person, giving them credibility. Why is that important for your business? I'll tell you why. You've got prospects that you want to influence to make a decision to come on board, right? Well, if you want to influence them, just recognize the fact that you might not have that influence yourself. It's hard to give yourself credibility. It's hard to get people to take you that seriously. But what you can do is, if you've got a third-party person that you can speak really well of and edify them, give them credibility, so that way when you do a three-way call and have your prospect listen to your third-party edified expert, that expert will now have the credibility that you can't have to influence your prospect to sign up. Let me give you an example. If I'm trying to recruit Bob, okay, and let's say Melissa is my upline, I can talk to Bob all day long, but I don't have credibility with Bob. Okay, I can't say, look at me, let me tell you how great I am, all the things I do, all the things I've done. Oh my gosh, look at me, listen to me, I do what I say. Bob's gonna say, bye-bye. But if I edify Melissa and make Melissa seem like she walks on water, seem like she glows in the dark, I put her up on this pedestal, and I get Bob to have a lot of respect for Melissa based on what I said about her, because it's always easy to edify someone else. You can't ever edify yourself. It sounds like you're arrogant. It sounds like you're bragging. But if you edify someone else, which is very easy to do, and it's received very well, then guess what? Bob is now going to take what Melissa says to heart. And Melissa will then be able to share her story of success. She'll be able to share ideas and insights. She'll be able to answer Bob's questions, and she will be able to ask the closing question. So Bob, I know you're excited about this. Are you ready to get started with us right now? And he will have so much respect for Melissa that he will probably say yes to her when he would not have said yes to me. So edification is crucial. Here's how you edify. There's 4 components. Money, you say, Melissa knows how the big money's being made in this business. Okay. Facts, she knows all the facts about this business. Fun, she loves to have fun, and she's a lot of fun to work with. And also help, she loves to help other people. So here's the way it would go. Let's say it's Melissa Giancola, and Bob is my prospect. I'd say, Bob, hey, look, I'm so glad that you're really, exploring how great this business can be for you. But I want to get you on the phone with Miss Giancola. Melissa Giancola, she's one of the top leaders in our company. She knows all the facts about the business. She knows how the big money's being made. She's a lot of fun to work with, and she loves helping other people. If I can get a couple minutes of her time so she can share some extra insights with you, this will be a big bonus for both of us. Hold on 1 second. Let me see if I can get her. Click, get her on the phone. Say, hey, look, I got Bob on the line. He checked out the whole presentation, likes what he hears, wants to hear your insights. Connect him up on a 3-way call. Basically introduce, hey, Bob, this is Miss Giancola. Miss Giancola, this is Bob. Sit back and relax and let the 3-way call happen. By using edification, you are going to close so many more people than if you're just trying to use first party, your own mouth, talking to your prospects yourself. Edify, 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 edify. Here's what also helps. If you edify your upline expert, whoever your upline leader is, edify your leader to your team. And here's what happens. When you're trying to motivate your team, you're trying to get them to go out to an event. You're trying to get them to go out there and start prospecting people. They're not hearing you. You might be their friend. You might be somebody that they don't see as somebody that they should listen to because you're fairly new yourself. So if you're making $500 a month and they're looking at you going, hey, look, you're not making much money in this business yet, so why should I listen to you? But if you edify somebody in your upline and that upline person gets on the phone with them, because the edifications happened, now the upline expert has influence with your team members. Now your upline expert can get them to commit to going to an event when you could not get them there. Your upline can get them to be motivated to go out and talk to prospects when you couldn't. So you edify your upline to close your prospects. You edify your upline to motivate your team. Edification solves all problems. So if you really just get focused on edifying, don't want the spotlight for yourself. Stop wanting all the spotlight yourself. Stop wanting everybody to edify you. If you edify others and then let them have the influence that they can use to help you build your business, soon enough, you'll be making a ton of money. Soon enough, your team will be exploding. And soon enough, your team members are going to be edifying you, and you become the edified upline leader to close their prospects and to motivate their team. So you edify to close your prospects and motivate your team, and soon enough, your team will be edifying you to do the same thing for them. And if you do that edification process to the upline, and then your team does it for you, and then like leapfrogs, edification, 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 and then all of a sudden your team is all built around edification. So much respect, so much influence, and all of a sudden your team takes on a whole new life. That's the importance of edification. So I hope these 6 minutes gave you guys some really incredible insight that you will take to heart, and you will start practicing edification every single day with every person that you're talking to, your prospects and your team members. Have a great day, and we'll see everybody over the top.
All right, guys. So how many of you got a lot out of that video? You guys got a lot out of it? Okay, so I want you to hear something, because I know Mr. Thomas is aware of this. Some of you may, some of you may not. But if you ask Mr. Thomas if I could have, without even looking at that video, if I could have explained all of those points to you, Mr. Thomas would tell you absolutely. He knows that I know how to edify. He knows I know all these points. He knows I've been doing this for years. So then why did I bring the video up to have the video do it? Because I did exactly what I was teaching you guys. The reason why it impacted you is because I edified Brian Carruthers before I brought up the video. When Mr. Thomas brought me up, before I started, I edified Mr. Thomas. I told you about the amazing things that he's done. And it's not telling you or exaggerating about things. You'll hear people say in our industry, that's called ed-a-lie. And some people take it to the extreme. That's not what we're doing. when I do it, it's heartfelt. So when you start getting good at doing those 4 points that he said, then what you'll do is you'll immediately think about the 4 points of those points that are associated with the person that you're going to introduce. So then it becomes not just generic, it becomes talking about those 4 points as it relates to Mr. Thomas, as it relates to Jocelyn Driscoll, as it relates to any of the leaders. Here's another fun fact about edification. I edify the leaders in my team that are in my organization all the time. Why? Because people come to me and ask me questions. I say, you know what? You need to talk to Marie Belena. She's killing it right now as a regional coordinator. She's helping so many people. She's in the trenches on a regular basis. I could tell you, but she's close to the fire right now. You need to talk to her. And so now what happens is they talk to her and they hold her in higher regard, and what she says matters more, even though she was going to say the same thing without the edification or not. But the people are listening with their ears open because of the edification, because of the power. All right. I learned this a long time ago. I would get my mentor, my first mentor, on the 3-way call with my people to enroll them in the business. I've told every leader that I've worked with directly, I promise you, if you ask Marie, the very first thing I taught her is, we need to get your people on a 3-way call with me. That's it. If you do that, this will be easy. If you do it your way and you try to convince people, it's going to take you forever. It's going to be draining and they're not going to listen. So you can choose which way you want to do it. And so I'm telling you this because the power isn't in the leader. Here's the mistake people make. When someone's wealthy, let's say someone's extremely wealthy, multi-billionaire, right? If they're worth billions and they go out and get a Rolls Royce, right? They go get a Bentley or something like that. Based on the fact that they earn billions, can we agree a Bentley is a drop in the bucket financially? If you're making billions, a Bentley isn't a lot of money. So here's the mistake that people from the outside make. They look at the Bentley as a marker for wealth. So they go and try to buy the Bentley when they only have Honda Civic money, right? And so they're stretching to look wealthy because Bentley represents wealth to them, or Rolls Royce represents wealth to them, when it's the reverse. The person created and amassed the wealth so that the Bentley was like purchasing a Honda Civic when they were making $100,000 a year. So a Civic is to $100,000 a year what a Bentley is to a billionaire. Are you guys getting this? So I'm saying that because everything looks different from the outside looking in. And so leaders, they think the power of the reason why Al Thomas can enroll all those people, the reason why Julian Lewis can enroll all these people is just because they're magical. They're magical, melanated Black men. They're special, right? I mean, we are special because our parents told us so, but that's not why we're enrolling people. That is not why. You know why we're enrolling people? Because we have the power of edification on our side. Ladies and gentlemen, why am I telling you this? Because if you have a team and you're a regional coordinator and you're not teaching your team how to edify you, you're missing out. You're missing out. See, I teach my team how to edify me, not because I like to hear about me. My team members, Marie will tell you, any of my leaders tell you, I get uncomfortable when people say good, like really cool things about me. I start to feel awkward. It's like, stop talking about me, please. I don't like the happy birthday stuff. I was always that way. I'm like, can you guys stop singing now? Like now? I don't like that. I don't like to be the center of attention. But I push aside what I like for what I love. And what I love is to help my team get results. And if you want to get great results on Wednesday, then you want to don't just show them the video and say, well, Mr. Thomas, I don't know what happened. I showed them the video. I thought they would sign up if they talked to you. That's not how it works. Show them the video, edify the expert, and let the power of the edification enroll the expert so that the words are heard differently because of the edification. You guys getting this? So the power isn't like outside looking in again. The power isn't because we're so articulate and effective. The power is in the edification. And I need you to see it from the inside looking out, because now you can become the edified expert to your team and you can create results that are layered. Here's what I mean. My organization edified me. Now check this out. My organization edified me. The people that they got on the phone with me, yes, sir, no, sir. Thank you so much for this opportunity. But here's what happened. Their heads exploded. You know why? Because I would say, listen, I'm doing well, but I need to introduce you to my mentor. My mentor has helped to mentor 18 people under the age of 30 to become multimillionaires. He was in one of the top 3 earners consistently in a $1 billion network marketing company. His understanding of the industry and his influence helped to shape the company we're in today to be where we're at. He's always joking around. I never see him without a smile. He's a family man. He has a beautiful son and daughter, and he loves to help his business partners get flat out wealthy. Guys, my team that was edified to me, they're going to lose it when they meet the man or the woman that I'm speaking of. That person can be goofy as can be. And guess what? They're going to be like, oh my gosh, they're so goofy. And they're making, I can do this. I can do this. And the reason why we don't is because we overthink everything. And because it's the end of the month, I want to share with something about time. You have less time today than you did yesterday. You're going to have less time at the end of this month, in June coming up, than you do right now. Why? It's because all of us have a limited amount of time on this planet. No one makes it out alive. These are things that I think about on a consistent basis. Everyone that was 40 years old 100 years ago, none of them are here today. 100 years ago, none of them are here today. I need you to think about that for a second. That means if we're wasting time because we're overthinking, we're losing our power in the present. Guys, it was Memorial Day weekend, and it had me thinking about, it wasn't as warm as it was last year in San Diego. I wanted it to be warm. I wanted to go to the pool or the beach or something. It was a little chilly. But I was thinking about a story that I've shared with a few of you on here before. And it happened, my daughter, she's finishing up 11th grade, and she said, Daddy, I think I have senioritis a year early, right? It's like she's over it. She's over it. She's got everything she needs. She's good. It's like if I could just skip next year, I would be fine. And we started laughing about it. But I remember when she was still in elementary school, and this is when school, it shifted to August, but for a time being, does everyone remember when school used to start around Labor Day or after Labor Day, right? And you would have that short week, and as a kid, you'd be excited because it was short, you know, and parents wish it was a regular week because they were getting you back in school. So I remember my daughter got to start school around that time, and it was a short week, but the kids, they had gone back to school, and it was warm because it was September and it gets hot in San Diego around that time. And I had the opportunity, while all of the parents were at their corporate America jobs and all of the kids were in school, I had peace and quiet, and I could take advantage of the community pool for our neighborhood while everyone was at work, right? That's how I do all my shopping until the pandemic. I used to get upset because everyone was home. So now at noon, there was a line at the grocery store. I'm like, what are you doing? You're supposed to be at work somewhere. So anyway, I'm enjoying myself for 5 minutes. I had a book, personal development. I was ready to read. And I actually have a picture of the Serenity. It was beautiful. And then all of a sudden, I heard something I wasn't expecting. I heard kids laughing and running up to the pool. You know how you can hear like kids' feet move differently. So I heard the kids running up to the pool. They're laughing. It was 3 boys. There were two brothers, so siblings, and their cousin. And I almost got upset. I'm like, what are you guys doing here? In my mind, I didn't tell them that, but in my mind, what are you doing here? You're supposed to be in school. So I got a little nosy and I started listening. Come to find out, I guess their parents allowed them to stay home because their cousin was flying back to wherever he was from to go back to school. And this was their last chance to have fun together before he flew back. And so the younger sibling and the cousin, they were the ones that ran into the gate of the pool first. They were excited. They ran in, and you know how boys are. When you're excited to go to the pool, they didn't even put their towels on the chair. They just dropped their stuff on the ground. They kicked their flip-flops off, pulled off their shirt, ran, and I heard one of them say, "Cannonball!" You guys know what I'm talking about? And it splash. They were both in the pool. They were having fun, splashing, having fun. It was great. I smiled because it reminded me of my brother and I when we were little. And then I saw the other boy, the older brother, and he put his stuff down neatly on the chair. You know, he thought about it. It's like, well, I don't want it to be dirty. And put my towel on the chair. He took off his flip-flops, nice and neat, put them next to the chair. And then he had his goggles on his forehead. And he was a little heavier set. He was a husky boy. And he went over to the edge, and I was watching him because I was like, this bro is going to splash me. He got close to where my chair was. And so I was watching him, and then he looked into the water. He looked in. And before he jumped in, he got his goggles straight. I'm like, okay. And then he went and he dipped his toe. And as he started dipping his toe, I'm like, don't do it. It's cold, because the pool wasn't heated. And the moment that cold water touched his big toe, I saw him go like this. Ooh, it's cold. And his little brother and his cousin were like, what are you doing? Get in the pool. I'm getting in, but it's cold. We're already in. What are you doing? Get in the pool. So he started to overthink this whole process. And he said, okay, I got a plan. You could see, you know how you can see the gears moving in someone's head? So you can see the gears moving in his head. He goes over to the stairs and he holds on to the rail, and he starts to walk into the pool, and you can see him, ooh, it's cold. And his brother's like, what are you doing? And he gets into the pool, he's walking down, getting used to it. And then he got down to like, well, guys, you know what I'm talking about. Men, right? So he got about there. He got right there. And he's like, nope, not going any further. You know, so he stepped out of the pool, and he was doing this for like 10 minutes. Guys, he did this for like 10 minutes. And then his brother and the cousin started splashing him. And I just get in. He said, fine, I'm getting in. And so he put his goggles back, and then he almost fell in. He stopped himself for a second. He finally jumped in. Splash. He's in the pool. He's having fun. I promise you, he didn't even think about that 10 minutes that he was spending doing that. He's just enjoying himself. But here's the problem. Here's the real problem. They didn't know how much time they were going to have in the pool. You know, and their father came. Literally, it was about 30 minutes from the moment they get in the pool. Father came and said, "All right, guys, come on, boys, we gotta go." I'm like, "Yeah, that was short. That was messed up." So they get out the pool, and it dawned on me. The two little boys were in the pool the whole 30 minutes. The oldest boy, he spent a third of the time he could have been enjoying himself. He spent a third of that time, 10 minutes, trying to figure out how he was going to get used to the water when it would have only taken his body a fraction of a second to get acclimated with the cold. He spent 10 minutes thinking about what it would have only taken his body a fraction of a second to get used to if he would have just jumped in. And so often, here's the problem. We overthink everything in our world instead of just jumping in. Do you know the most that I've ever learned in my life up until this moment has been when I was afraid, knew I was about to overthink something, and I said, "No, you can't do it, jump in." And through doing so, I realized in that moment, the learning that I discovered in the process of jumping in was priceless, and I would have never discovered it had I kept thinking and overthinking something I've never done. And he didn't know when his father was going to call him home. That's the messed up part about it. So he squandered time not knowing when his dad was going to call him home. And here's why that's so interesting with us as adults. We do that in the pool of life. We overthink. We try to figure out in fear of what might, when it would only take us a fraction of a time to get acclimated with whatever new process, whatever new system, whatever new company, whatever new service. It would take us a fraction, but we'll read a book and another book and ask a person and ask an RD and ask an RVP. Well, if I can get an SVP's advice and get all these people's advice on what it would take us a second to get used to if we just jumped. You know what is so scary? I don't know if you believe in God, but I do. And here's one thing I know. I don't know when my father's going to call me home. We don't know when our father is going to call us home. And we spend the time like we have all the time. And most of the time, we're wasting the time. The little boys were enjoying their time because they were in the present. The older boy wasted his time. And it seems like the older we get, the more we are like the older boy, and we forget about how we used to be when we were young and we weren't afraid. You know, it's funny. I'm an amateur on the Bible, but I know one thing about it. The most repeated sentence by God in the Bible, you know what it is? It's fear not. Fear not. Fear not. We spend so much time being afraid of things that don't even affect us, do not even impact us. And that's just distraction. And you know what's so sad about fear? You know what fear's favorite food is? Does anyone know what fear's favorite food is? Anyone know? I'm gonna tell you. Fear's favorite food is time. It's time. It takes time and it magnifies the fear. It eats it. And it makes you regret. It makes you worry. It makes you all these things. And all of those negative things go away when you act. So here's what I recommend. It's the last day of the month. Act like it's the last day of the month. Act like you deserve it. Act like you want to change somebody's life. Jump in the pool. The water's cold, but it'll only be cold for a fraction of a second. Let that become excitement. That nervousness becomes excitement, because every time it happens and it works, you start to build confidence. Jump in. It's not a big deal. You'll live. and you'll live better for it because you'll be a better person mentally and a stronger one at that. So with that being said, Mr. Thomas, I'm pretty much done. I will turn the call back over to you, sir.